Hello everyone, welcome to the US Immigration News. It's not even been a month for Donald Trump's term as the 47th President of the United States, and his administration has taken swift and aggressive action on immigration enforcement. Through a series of executive orders and diplomatic maneuvers, the US is now seeing new travel restrictions, visa suspensions, and intensified deportation efforts. Today, we're looking into a critical update on US immigration policy, new travel bans, and visa suspensions that came after Trump issued an order on Feb 14, 2025. With recent executive orders and diplomatic disputes, in this video, we will understand what this means for travelers, visa holders, and those seeking entry into the US. Who will be affected and what legal challenges might arise? If you are interested in this topic and like this video, please stay tuned until the end of the video. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now let's get into the video and get started. The Trump administration is once again tightening immigration policies, and this time, new travel bans and visa suspensions are at the forefront. While there is no comprehensive travel ban on Colombia, recent diplomatic tensions have resulted in targeted restrictions, temporary visa suspension. The U.S. government briefly suspended visa issuance at its embassy in Bogotá due to heightened diplomatic strains. Although non-immigrant visa processing resumed on January 31st, 2025, delays and increased scrutiny remain concerns for applicants. Targeted travel ban. Specific Colombian government officials, their political allies, and their immediate family members are now subject to travel sanctions. This move aims to exert diplomatic pressure on the Colombian government amid ongoing disputes over deportation policies. Enhanced scrutiny at U.S. borders. U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, has intensified security checks on Colombian nationals traveling to the U.S. This includes additional screenings at airports, stricter document verification, and increased cargo inspections at major U.S. ports of entry. Impact on U.S. travelers. In response to the diplomatic situation, the U.S. State Department has elevated its travel advisory for Colombia to Level 3. Reconsider travel. American citizens planning to visit Colombia are urged to exercise increased caution due to political instability, potential disruptions, and stricter entry requirements. These measures highlight the growing tensions between the two nations and underscore the shifting landscape of U.S. immigration and foreign policy. Travelers, visa applicants, and policymakers alike must stay informed as further developments unfold. These restrictions are a direct result of Colombia's refusal to accept deportation flights carrying migrants. Trump has responded by imposing tariffs and banning travel for certain Colombian officials. Colombian President Gustavo Petro has pushed back, refusing to accept deportation flights and arguing that the U.S. should not treat Colombian migrants as criminals. Beyond travel bans, the Trump administration has ramped up immigration enforcement efforts. Here are the key developments. In addition to these diplomatic restrictions, the Trump administration has intensified domestic immigration enforcement, leading to significant policy changes. Mass deportations. In a striking escalation of immigration enforcement, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, IC, has deported 7,300 individuals within the first week of the new administration. This marks a sharp increase in removal operations, targeting both border crossers and undocumented individuals within the U.S. aggressive arrest quotas. ICE field officers across the country have been given strict directives to achieve 1,175 arrests per day nationwide. This quota-driven approach signals a heightened crackdown on undocumented immigrants, increasing the risk of detainment for those without legal status. Expanded deportation authority. On February 13, 2025, a new House bill was passed granting expanded powers for deportations. Under this legislation, any non-citizen found evading law enforcement within 100 miles of the U.S. border can now be deported without additional legal proceedings, significantly broadening federal removal capabilities. Fast-track removals. The administration has expanded expedited removal authority, allowing immigration officials to deport individuals without a court hearing if they are suspected of having been in the U.S. for less than 2 years. This fast-tracking of deportations raises concerns about due process and the potential for wrongful removals. These sweeping policy changes reflect the administration's commitment to enforcing stricter immigration laws, but they also raise legal and humanitarian concerns. As the situation continues to evolve, affected individuals and advocacy groups are closely monitoring the impact of these measures on immigrant communities. The impact of these policies is already visible, with over 68,000 deportations recorded in the third quarter of fiscal year 2024, marking a 69% increase from the previous year. Latin American countries, particularly Venezuela and Nicaragua, are expected to face increased scrutiny and restrictions. Some experts even speculate that Chinese nationals could be affected due to rising US-China tensions. These policies don't just affect new travelers. They could also disrupt the lives of visa holders, students, and workers already in the US. Could green card holders face hurdles in renewing their status? Will legal immigrants undergo additional screenings or delays? Many fear a repeat of past immigration crackdowns, where even lawful permanent residents faced unexpected obstacles. With President Biden's past reversal of Trump's immigration policies in mind, it remains to be seen whether this new wave of restrictions will be overturned or expanded further. Legal challenges are inevitable, but with a conservative-leaning Supreme Court, Trump may have the legal backing to push his agenda. Beyond politics and legal battles, we must also consider the human impact. Families separated, careers disrupted, and uncertainty looming over many immigrants' futures. With immigration emerging as a defining issue in the 2024 election cycle, these new policies are expected to shape the national political discourse in the months ahead. Legal challenges, civil rights organizations, and immigrant advocacy groups are preparing lawsuits to challenge the legality of these restrictive measures. The outcomes of these cases could influence the administration's ability to enforce its policies. Congressional response. If Republicans secure control of Congress, more stringent immigration laws could follow, further reinforcing the administration's hardline stance. Conversely, Democratic opposition may lead to legislative battles over immigration reform and border security funding. Future executive actions. President Trump is expected to issue additional executive orders, expanding deportation efforts, imposing new visa restrictions, and implementing further measures to tighten border security. These actions could significantly impact immigrant communities and foreign relations with affected nations. As the landscape of U.S. immigration policy continues to evolve, staying informed on legislative changes, court rulings, and political shifts will be crucial for those affected. The implications of these measures extend beyond immigration enforcement, influencing diplomatic relations, economic stability, and civil rights protections across the country. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas, such as B1 and B2, work visas, such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. Thank you for visiting us today, and we'll see you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to the channel for more U.S. immigration update videos.